I am Haisten Willis. I'm a White House reporter for the Washington Examiner, and this is my year-in review. The favorite assignment that I had this year was when I got to be the pool reporter flying aboard Air Force One for the first time. A quick explanation of what a pool reporter is there's a lot of people who report on the White House. There's over 100, I believe, but they can't all go on every trip the president does. So they have one person or a few people who will send pool reports for everybody else. So this was my turn to do this in October, and I flew on Air Force One to Western Maryland, and we also went over to Philadelphia later in the day. That was my first time actually being aboard the plane and seeing it and experiencing that. That was really, really interesting. That was something I never thought that I would do. We first went to Western Maryland for Biden to tour a Volvo factory and give a speech. So I saw him do that and covered the speech and of course sent notes. The more interesting part was the second part of the day. We made a surprise visit to the University of Pennsylvania. We knew we were going to Philadelphia, but not to that particular school. The reason was Biden's granddaughter was touring the campus. Again, none of this was announced, so all of a sudden there's this big commotion on the campus that no one expects. Students kind of gathering around, wondering what was going on. And we couldn't really, they told us not to say, so we were kind of secretive ourselves and people would ask us. But eventually Biden did appear outside the bookstore and this huge crowd had formed. People started shouting things at Biden. I remember that really well. There was two guys who started shouting at Biden. They said, "Yo, Joe, legalize that weed, legalize that weed." That was really funny. So I put that in my pool report, and that was really interesting, again, just to see kind of that commotion and that real experience of what it's like when the president visits somewhere that you don't always necessarily see just from watching the news. For the Washington Examiner, I'm Haisten Willis.